Hello, yeah, I'm here in Union Station wearing my Monster Bash shirt. Monster Bash. Glenn Strange Frankenstein, a big Frankenstein Monster Bash 2009. But I'm getting ready for Monster Bash 2013, and I got my train ticket right here. I just bought it today, right there. I got my train ticket to Pittsburgh and back, round trip. Yeah, $167.40 it cost. And also, anyway, so I'm going to Monster Bash. See, here's a flyer for it. I got it right here. Monster Bash goes to Mars, Pennsylvania. Monster Bash goes to Mars, July 19th to 21st, in Mars, Pennsylvania. That's right before you get to Butler. It's like between Pittsburgh and Butler, I think. Yeah, Mars, Pennsylvania, July 19th to 21st. Tell them David Rock Nelson sent you, the monster movie maker. And fiend me on Facebook, David Rock Nelson. I'm here in the historic Union Station here. And these steps right here, these are the steps in the movie The Untouchables with Kevin Costner and Sean Connery. And what's his name? Garcia? Tony Garcia? What's that actor's name? Garcia. Anyway, him and Kevin Costner, they shoot those guys in a shootout. And that's got a Tommy gun and stuff. Or no, Valentino Simo is one of the thugs with a Tommy gun, and Ness shoots him. You know, these guys got bandaged nose. I met him. I run into him about once a year in Park Ridge or Chicago, you know. I said, hey, how's it going? He was walking out of Trader Joe's. I said, hey, how's it going? He has an Untouchables jacket on, black leather jacket, says Untouchables on the back. Anyway, he got shot up there, man, in the movie The Untouchables. And Ness is down here shooting, and you know that baby crib's coming down the steps, and Ness stops it, and he's holding it, and he's got his gun aiming at the bad guy, and they got it. And they got the guy with the books. You know, he has the books on Capone, and the one thug that works for Capone, he's got a gun on the guy. He says, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna kill him. And so Ness says, you got him, and then Garcia says, I got him, and he goes, do it. He shoots the guy. You know. So the lawyer, the guy with the books, is saved. So he can show evidence that Capone, had tax evasion. So they get him on tax evasion. And these are the steps. That scene was filmed, that great scene in the movie The Untouchables with Kevin Costner, 1987. My brother was an extra in it. And his scenes were filmed in here. It was like, I think he was like one of the cleanup guys, cleaning the floor. So you see those two cleanup guys, he's one of them. I don't know if he's seen, but he was an extra. I didn't really see him in the movie, but he was somewhere in there. And he met Sean Connery, and this is it. This is where I buy my ticket for the Monster Bash every year to go to Pittsburgh. And I was an extra in the scene in The Untouchables because I was in the TV show, the 1992 to 94 series, The Untouchables, for WGN by Paramount. I was an extra in 5 episodes. I was at the set 8 times, but I was in 5. And I'm seen for like about 5 seconds by that clock right there. I'm a civilian walking around. And there was this movie with Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, Chain Reaction was filmed here. And in there behind me, that was the holding area for the extras, where those people that come out. And it was Valentine's Day 2000. And I was in there too long. And when I came down, I fell asleep upstairs. I'm like, I want to be in my scene. They go, oh, it's too late. The extras are already down by the train, so I didn't get to be an extra. But I did get to be an extra in another scene. Oh, wait a minute. That was another movie. That was Save the Last Dance. I didn't want to be in that movie anyway. But Chain Reaction was 96, actually. And I was in a scene right here. I'm walking with a briefcase. And Keanu Reeves comes down these steps, and he's running through here. And he runs down that way over there. And he runs right past me. Keanu Reeves right past me, man. I've got a briefcase. But they cut that scene out. They didn't use that, not because I didn't do good, but because they didn't need that scene. They just show him arriving at the trains. So he brushed past me, but they didn't use that scene. It ended up on the cutting room floor. They should have used that in the movie. They should have used that then, because then I would have been in the movie. Here's the clock, man. And then, and I saw Eva Marie Saint right over here. They showed Strangers on a Train, Hitchcock. And Eva Marie Saint hosted it, even though she's not in that movie. She was in North by Northwest. But she made a live appearance here. She was in Chicago. And they showed the movie on a big screen there, like around 95, 94. right after I did Mummy AD 1993 and Son of Werewolf. And Janet and I came to see it. And we're sitting there, and we're in the front, and Eva Marie Saint walks right past us, man. I wrote her later. I sent her one of my flyers. Anyway, to the train. This was used in The Untouchables too, right there. You see Elliot Ness, Tom Amandus. Now this was the TV show, not the movie. I was in the TV show from 92 to 94, or 95, and there's scenes where Elliot Ness is walking here. There's scenes filmed in Union Station when he meets Capone. I was in that episode 3. It was actually episode 2, because the pilot was 2 parts. Actually, episode 2, where at the beginning he meets Capone coming down the steps. He goes, "You got a real problem, don't you, college boy?" And Ness says, "No, I'm out of college, and no, I don't have a problem. You do." And then Frank Nitti, Paul Regina, you know, from that show Brothers, he says, "Come on, Al, some kind of nut." And then Capone says, "Yeah, a bonehead, a real bonehead." Boo! That's what I love about this town. This town's full of boneheads. God, I love Chicago. You know, that's what Capone says in the Untouchables TV show, episode 3, from about 92. That was filmed. Yeah, I was in episode 3. I was an extra. I was a cop scene for about 4 seconds. I'm to the right of the screen when Ness breaks into that like factory or that warehouse, and it's got a chicken coop in it. And you see me to the right. I'm one of the cops. You see me like 4 glorious seconds. Yeah. So I'm seeing in about 5 episodes. 4 episodes I'm seeing as an extra. Even though I was in 5 episodes, and I was down at the set 8 times. And I met Tom Amandus, who played Elliot Ness, and I met William Forsythe a couple times. Nice guy. He used to tell good jokes off set. He talked to the extras. He'd tell us jokes. We were laughing. He said, my favorite joke is when he says, over by the restrooms, there's one of the girls, she plays a flapper in the Untouchables TV show. This is back in 93, down at the Cuneo Museum. And William Forsythe tells us a joke. He says, "What do Germans call Vaseline?" Wienerslicker. Yeah, that's the name. It's called Wienerslicker, you know. So that's what Germans call Vaseline. Okay, I'll see ya. Yeah. Anyway, one more thing I want to show you where I met Conrad in 94. Conrad Brooks from Plan 9 from Outer Space, right here. He says, "Meet me by the fountain, Rocky. There's a fountain down there. Meet me by the fountain." So I met him when he was coming back from Hollywood, and he had to go back. He had to go back to LA. I met him right here. Conrad was sitting, like right there. Where that black spot is right here. This is where Conrad was sitting right here. And I met him. I said, "Hey, Conrad, hey, Rocky, how's it going?" There's the phone. And I got video footage of me talking to Conrad here and up there where I just was, in that big room, you know, where the clock was, on a bench. I got footage of me talking to Conrad on one of those benches, and I'm going to use it in an upcoming movie where I got my suspenders on and talk. That was like 95 when I videotaped that. I took him out for, first time I met him, that's when he was going to be in Ed Wood, the movie, and he had to go back to LA later that day, that afternoon, so he'd get down to LA to be in Ed Wood with Johnny Depp, and he was the bartender who says, "Can I get you anything else, kid?" That was Conrad. Conrad Brooks from Plan 9 from Outer Space, who was in my movie Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf. I got a picture of it somewhere in my pocket here. Here it is. There it is. Here is a picture from the article on Scream Magazine, issue 5. It's been in my pocket a while, but the original's at home. That's the picture of Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf. And that's me as a mummy down there. I'm going to show you a close-up of that. That's me as a werewolf, like Conrad with a baseball bat right there. See, that's Conrad. And that's me as the werewolf right there. See? And that's me with Bill Murray right there. And that's me with George Foreman. George Foreman on the left. And that's me as a mummy. Anyway, okay. What's his name? Daryl Mayeski says, at the bottom of my article, he says, right down there with that fake drop of blood, he says, whether you laugh with or at Nelson, you gotta admit he's one of a kind. And that's right, I'm one of a kind. When God made me, he broke the mold, brother. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud to be driven. I'm proud to be a monster movie maker, David Rock Nelson. Yeah, fiend me on Facebook and become my fiend, David Rock Nelson. Okay, so I'm here at the Union Station in Chicago, Illinois. Isn't this place cool? Look at that. Look at that, man. How they built this place, I don't know. It's like a miracle. I mean, it's like building a pyramid in Egypt almost. You know, all these pillars and everything. Think of all the hard work getting those things up. All the guys had to work together to put those pillars up and everything. Look at that. It's like in Rome, man. Look at that. This was used in the Untouchables movie and the TV show from '92 to '95. Yeah. Isn't this place cool? And how do you like these lamps, man? The lamps right there. Isn't that cool? Oh, yeah. And there's the steps that Kevin Costner and Andy Garcia shot the bad guys that were working for Capone in the movie The Untouchables, 1987. That was the movie my brother was an extra in, Keith Noodles Nelson, the late great Keith Noodles Nelson. Keith Noodles Nelson, stand-up comic. His picture used to be up on the wall in O'Rourke's, or what was that? Old Town Inn, whatever, on North Avenue near, you know, kind of near Wells Street there on North Avenue. But now it's not a bar there anymore. It's like a Mexican restaurant or something. And anyway, his picture was up on the wall there. I go in there once in a while to have a beer. Just, yeah, that's my brother up there. His 8x10 was up there. Because he was an actor, aspiring actor, stand-up comic. And he was also known as the Mini Hulk or Mini Hunk. That was his wrestling name when he went to Maine South. 72 grad Maine South. We're going outside now. See, look at these cool pillars, man. Look at that. Look at it, isn't that cool? And over there, look at that fence. That's good scene. I filmed the scenes for Devilland 3 here, which is coming soon. Son of Devilland. Back in 2000, I filmed footage of the ant attacking in out here, and it's wiggling by this fence and by these pillars. There's the fence. This reminds me of the underground crypt in Bride of Frankenstein. These gates, see that? So it kind of reminds me of the gates of like the inside of that crypt in Bride of Frankenstein, you know. But they painted it now. But, yeah, cool, isn't it? Look at that. And we're on Canal Street here. I'm going to go get something to eat. Maybe have a few beers. We're downtown Chicago. We're in the Chicago Loop, and I'm going to be on Mancow TV this Tuesday between 6:30 to 8 a.m. He's on weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on UPN My 50. UPN station. And I'll be on for like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to be one of his guests talking about my monster movies. David Rock Nelson. It's David Rock Nelson. Feed me on Facebook. And see videos on YouTube. The TV shows I've been on. It's David Rock Nelson. Monster movie maker. Yeah. And become my fiend on Facebook. David Rock Nelson. On Facebook and on YouTube. And I'm going to be on Mancow Tuesday. Tuesday between 6:30 and 8 a.m. Central Time. That's 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. If you guys out east, out in Pittsburgh and Maryland and all that, and Baltimore, like Ed and Carl Hopp out there in Timonium, Maryland. Okay. And Ellsworth Hall out there in Hunt Valley, Maryland, or wherever he's at. Or Timonium. There's Frankenstein. Frankenstein. That's Glenn Strange, my favorite Frankenstein. Monster Bash. Come to the Monster Bash. Tell him David Rock Nelson sent you. David Rock Nelson. Feed me on Facebook. Yeah, I make monster movies. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you.